Hey guys, Malkuth1974 coming back at you with another episode of International Civilian Space Program, Episode 7. Interesting title. Yes, I have added a new mod to this game. Yes, it's there to help me out a little bit. I want to redo the supply system. Now, the IronCross mod is what this mod is called, and we'll cover it a little bit later in the episode. But basically, it doesn't add supplies that I had originally intended to add to the game. What it adds is oxygen and carbon dioxide. Oxygen is what the kerbals breathe, and carbon dioxide is their waste material. Now, either run out of oxygen, kerbal dies. Get too much carbon dioxide, kerbal dies. So that's the basic gist of it. All ships have oxygen in it, and there are extra parts that you can have where you can add oxygen to your ships, or you can add recyclers to those ships. So we'll get into that a little bit later. Right now, we're looking at the mission controller. This is one of my missions I'm doing right now. It's a mission to Kerbin, to orbit Kerbin, land, then go back to Kerbin and land at Kerbin. If you guys haven't known, I did release my mission pack last week. It's available on the forums. I will put a link down there for you guys. It has 23 missions. Some of them are repeatable. There's 3 story-based missions. And I think that's about it for that. You guys want to look at it? It's pretty cool. Covers a lot of cool and interesting things that you guys can look at. So here we go. We're going to Kerbin, Minmus. Here, I'm going to slap myself in the head. Not really. You're not going to hear it. Going to Minmus, trying to get in orbit. After the orbit, we need to land on Minmus with this, take back off, then go back to Kerbin. I think I already covered this once. Oh, by the way, did I tell you guys? This is a secret contest video. What's a secret contest video? Secret contest video is for you guys, my viewers. I do not advertise contests. The reason I do not advertise contests is because I want you guys to win the contest. If I advertise contests, people on YouTube are going to search for the word contest. They're going to win the contest, and they're never going to watch one of my videos ever. This way, you guys win it. What are you going to win today? Well, you're going to win what you're watching. You're going to win your own very own copy of Kerbal Space Program. There's going to be a challenge question later in the episode for you guys to check this out. Back to what we're doing. Look at this. I'm actually landing on Minmus. Have I actually shown landing on Minmus in a video before? That is a good question. That is not the question for the game, though. So that's going to come a little bit later. My mission pack is pretty cool. I'm actually working on the second pack, which is actually an expansion to one of the story-based missions. So I am running a second pack right now. I'm learning a lot of coding stuff, so it's all new to me. My first pack, I'm looking at it and I'm like, damn, I suck at coding. It's really messy, it's really crappy. But my second one, I've learned, for you coders out there, I've learned what the tab key does. Your spacing for your tabs. Yeah, what a wonderful little button to push, instead of trying to guess where your spacings are. So, yeah, we're working on that. Looking at this vessel, if you look at it real closely, this is actually a modified version of my earlier supply vessel. It's got 3 oxygen tanks on it. So basically now that is the supply system that I need to send to the kerbals. They're going to run out of oxygen because on my moon base, remember we have 3 kerbals on the moon base. They used to have regular supplies, but now they have to have oxygen. If they run out of oxygen, they're going to die. So this is the first mission I sent. I wasn't thinking when I did this mission. What I ended up doing was I added the 3 new tanks to the existing design, and I didn't edit the actual design. So what ends up happening is I don't have enough delta V to actually land this thing. And of course everything's sped up, so it's hard to see, to keep track of everything. But we're going to see in about 5 seconds what happens when you run out of fuel. Those yawns. I just paused for a few seconds there because I had to yawn. I'm actually doing this at night and I'm actually tired. I'm trying to get this done for you guys. I can get this done in the morning. But there we go. We went past it. I'm out of fuel. No more fuel. This thing's going to smash into the ground, and it's going to be about 100,000. I'm going to call it Kerbal dollars now, just because that's how I started it. I know it's not what it's called in Mission Controller, but I'm going to call it 100,000 Kerbal dollars. We just lost because I screwed up. So here's the new design. I've added some tanks to it on the actual lander and on the lifter. This will definitely get us there. I was checking it with Kerbal Engineer. There we are. With the magic of editing, we are now over the moon and back to where we left off before I totally failed you guys and crashed into the moon. So, there we are. My standard approach is I always approach. Try to set it up. Well, we're going to land a little bit past it because, of course, we're going with the rotation of the moon and all that special nonsense that I don't really know what I'm talking about, but that's what's happening. That looks about right. Yeah. Trying to set it up. As long as you get that line pretty close to where your vessels are, and you get the end of the line to end up right on top of where you want to land, it'll be a perfect landing. But of course, I'm not perfect. I'm only human. I can't land this thing pinpoint accurate. And we'll see what's going on here in a few seconds. Oh, and there's another yawn. Whew, jeez, all kinds of yawns today. I'm still trying to cut my vertical speed to get my ship on target. And of course, I'm not even looking at, I'm just in map view doing this right now. I haven't even looked at what my actual height is. Of course, I know I'm not too low to the ground because I still have all that space between the ground and here. So we're about, looks like we're about 5 kilometers away from our base. And like I said, I'm not perfect at doing these pinpoint landings. I don't know if anybody is. Of course, I don't use MechJeb or anything like that, especially in this series. I haven't used MechJeb, believe it or not, since 0.17. I used to use it a lot when I first started off, but I've never even tried the new MechJeb with all the new cool features it has. I've seen some other YouTube players playing with it. I just don't see a need for it because I enjoy landing like this. Even though I waste so much fuel doing it, to me, it's so much fun. Now, of course, if I kept on doing landings like this all the time, on and off, constantly, then I probably will use MechJeb again. But for right now, actually, Kerbal Engineer doesn't have an autopilot, but it does have a flight analysis where it will tell you certain things that are important. And I might actually start using that eventually here. At this descent, trying to cut my vertical speed before I land over where I need to land. Of course, I'm short now, and since we're going to use the Kerbal attachment system to hook this vessel up to the housing unit for it can share the oxygen, I have to be at least 50 meters within range of that housing unit. The housing unit is that pink colored thing there. The one that says First Moon Colony, that's actually just a flag. It's right next to the housing unit, so we can actually use the numbers to tell how close we are. What does it say? It keeps going down, so we're about 800 meters away. So obviously that's not close enough. And it seems like I always land in the same space. If you look at where all my other landers are, like the Moonshine, the service lander is the important one. That's the one that's going to get our guys off the moon finally. And that thing needs a lot of fuel to get us off the moon, and it definitely doesn't have enough. So we're going to have to launch a mission eventually here to get that going. And of course, I need a Cathane miner, which I do have one in mind that someone has sent me. We should see it in the next episode. Looks like I decided to land this thing, probably before I can do a quick save. I just bounced off the ground. Oh, there it is, the quick save. That's wonderful. So we're just gonna take off again. You know, while I'm watching this video, analyzing it post production, I'm thinking to myself, why don't I, because this is where I have the issues. What I'm gonna do is, I call it the bunny hop. What you're supposed to do is, you're supposed to point towards your target, get some vertical speed towards it, and then you point your vessel straight up on the blue nav ball, and you just kick some exhaust every once in a while. What you're doing is, you're keeping your height, but you're moving using the vertical speed that you just did by pointing towards the vehicle and getting yourself closer to the vehicle. That way you don't have to do, you don't have to do all these twists and turns to get it there. But of course, because the nav ball is actually off, I'm actually having issues, or my button combination is off. So you would think if I push forward that I would actually be heading towards the vehicle, but I'm not. I'm pushing forward. I'm doing it again right there. You can see it. Pushing forward, and I'm actually going towards what, if we're looking at this, I'm going towards the left. So my buttons are reversed. Now, if I was smart, what I would do is I would target, and I'll do it next time, I'll remember this next time, I would target the vessel, and of course then I would have a target reticle to point at on my nav ball, so I would know where in general it is and where I should be pointing. It won't fix the backwards controls, but it will definitely help out with that situation. So, as you can tell, we are getting closer, and I'm still only 200 meters away. Of course, we are at a little bit of a height, so we're probably higher right now than we are at sideways distance. So as we go down closer to the land, we will actually be closer, because we're getting rid of that height advantage I have right now on them. I'm actually pretty close, and of course, now that I'm really close, the whole thing has disappeared now, so now I don't even know how close I am, so I can't read that anymore. If I had my Kerbal Engineer up, I could actually tell by that if I had it targeted, but we don't have it targeted, so it's not going to work. Looks like I'm doing another quick save right here. And I'm pretty sure we're just going to take off again and point. Try to point again. Of course, I keep having issues with this. Just trying to point things. Trying to do some bunny hopping here. I'm doing little adjustments just to find out which freaking keys I need to push to make this head towards there. And it looks like I'm actually heading away, of course, which is what I'm actually am doing. I'm hoping, well, maybe this is close enough, or maybe it's not close enough. I don't know. Can't tell, because it's not giving me any numbers on how close I am. Well, damn, I'm definitely getting close now. I can actually see the flag. If I'm not 50 meters, I'm at least 70 meters or 75 meters, and oh no! Failure. You know, something I don't like about those little legs, they're very weak. They break all the time. I like the bigger legs, but the bigger legs on this lander would look weird, so I just put the little legs. So yeah, I just totally screwed up and crashed my lander. And of course, I can't fix it because it's down. But I do have the Kerbal attachment system on here, and I do have a winch on there. So it's time for Bill Kerman to come on out, because he's the next contestant on the Malkuth is Not Right. What's he gonna do? Well, let's see. First, let's see if we're actually 50 meters away or not. We're gonna walk on over there, or in Bill's case, he's gonna jetpack his ass over there, because you know we are Kerbals and we don't mess around with this walking stuff. We jetpack to our area, and sometimes we crash land, but it's okay because that's what we do best. We crash, as I just demonstrated with this vessel crashing into the lunar surface. Wonderful. All right, so let's grab this. First, we need this to add it to our housing unit, because of course our housing unit was actually put on the moon well before I ever had the Kerbal attachment system on it. But the Kerbal attachment system has this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful piece where you can add it to any vessel you want, and you automatically can now interchange with the attachment system from the winch side. So it's a great little thing to have to help you out here. Of course, I'm trying to figure out where am I going to put this thing. Well, let's just try it. Maybe it'll reach. And that ain't gonna work. Hey, will it work on a leg? Well, we're about to find out. That's what I'm going to say. If we can reach here. If we can't reach, we're going to have to go to some drastic measures. Some life or death situations to keep our kerbals alive. This vessel actually has enough oxygen on it to keep 3 kerbals alive for 40 days. So you can figure one oxygen tank, I think it has 1,000 oxygen in it, is enough to keep 1 kerbal alive for 1 month. So I figured if I put 3 on there, it would increase it. No, wait, is it 1 month or is it 40 days? Yeah, I think it's 40 days. So 3 of them will keep them alive for all 3 of them alive for 40 days. So that's why this mission is important. So add an A has to come out. Add an A. What are we going to do to get this vehicle closer? Since we just found out that Bill found out quite hard there that we're quite not 50 meters. And of course, I can actually go to the config file and edit the length of the winch. I think you can go up to 100 and you'll be all set. But why cheat it in there? It's the reason why the developer wants it at 50. Probably for balance sake. So we're going to keep it at 50. I'm going to get Anime here to go and basically crash into the supply vessel to push it closer towards the housing unit. That is right. I said crash into the supply vessel. He's not going to actually crash into it like at a massive speed. He's going to kind of nudge it forward a little bit. You know, it's just one of those easy things that we have to do. Now, if I get this thing to turn correctly, we should get there in a few seconds. Well, I guess today, right now, is as good a time as any for all you guys out there that want to win Kerbal Space Program. This is your chance. 1 copy of Kerbal Space Program is going to go to the first person to reply to this question in the comments down below. So, what is the question? I usually do it, just the first person to say a word or something like that will get the prize. This time I'm going to actually put some trivia in it. I'm going to make you do your homework. And you're going to actually have to do homework because I was thinking about it. Well, if I asked you a simple question like, how do you figure out the delta V of, 2 orbital vessels or an orbital vessel going from point A to point B, all you would do is go on the internet, type in delta V, and you'd find out in about 5 seconds, and it would be no different than doing anything different. Let's see if you can do this. In my video series, my very first space station that I showed on video is called what? What is its name? That is the question. Now, if you just took off and you didn't wait for the second question, that was a real bummer. The second question, what happened to that space station? First person to answer those 2 questions, the name of my first space station and what happened to it, will win a copy of Kerbal Space Program. So, good luck. Here we go. So, we're pushing the supply vessel towards the vehicle. Bill over here he's getting a little tired. He's trying to pull this thing himself. Still not quite close enough. What are we at? 60 meters? So I was about right. We're about at 70 meters before. So it's time to push this thing a little bit more. And of course, I'm trying not to break it. And of course, I'm over the winch right now. So if I break the winch, we're never going to get this thing docked with the vehicle. So I got to be very careful and not break that poor little winch there. And it looks like I already did break something. That is the solar panel, the bottom solar panel. So we're down to 1 solar panel on this vessel. Well, it's kind of entertaining watching this. I had real fun. I had a real lot of fun doing this. Probably one of the most fun things I've done in a long time in Kerbal Space Program, other than all the other cool fun things you do. But pushing this with a rover, this is something NASA would never do. If NASA was in this situation right now, and they had to get if the same situation, what would NASA do? Do you think they would do this? What do you think? Probably not. They'd come up with some mathematical genius to figure out the equation of, I don't know. He would figure something out. But it looks like we're close enough now. We're going to plug this in, and I'm going to use the docked. That means we are docked now. The vessels are one. And if we look at them both, they're definitely, it looks like it's alright. I got to switch to it. And let's see if we can transfer some liquid fuel from this to that. Oh yeah, that worked. Alright, so we're linked. By all means, we are now sharing its oxygen intakes with the actual housing unit. So, mission accomplished. It looks a little weird, but I give that a thumbs up. So, we got Bill out there, we got Adam A out there. Both of them kind of got to head to back home. I'm gonna open the power system here just before we get a little extra power, because of course having that oxygen system running and having the scrubbers run, the scrubbers actually take up power, and if you run out of power, your scrubbers don't run anymore and you lose control of the cap's shield, because that's part of the IronCross mod. And I'm not sure, but I think the oxygen stops working too. So, running out of power is just as bad as running out of oxygen or having too much carbon dioxide. So there we go. That about sums it up. This episode, we supplied our moon colony with some stuff. So as always, guys, good luck to the person that's going to win Kerbal Space Program. This is Malkuth 1974. Show some love, subscribe, comment, and rate. Thanks for watching, and thanks for watching this series. You guys are great. Malkuth out.